at all. We talked about it yesterday, didn't we? About how it's always about Ronaldo, but Ronaldo isn't the same player that he was when they won the Euros.
No, he isn't. He isn't even the same player he was to an extent last year when he, whilst his general performances might not have been of yesteryear, the goals were there, for sure. There's no, I mean, that's factual. But he hasn't played, and he's had all these sort of sideshows going on, and the latest one has been the biggest one, just on the eve of this World Cup. So we'll see. You know, I touched on it yesterday. I think from his perspective, there's even more desperation to be the man, to be the guy getting the headlines, to be the guy scoring the goals, or a goal, or whatever it is, because he's now looking for somebody to come basically and take him. And I say this, and I never thought we would say this about Ronaldo, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Give him a chance, because as Mark Ogden said yesterday, he's been available pretty much on a free for 6 months or so, right? But there's been no takers at the price of his salary. And so he's trying to sell himself. Now, is that going to be to the detriment of his performances with his team? Well, we're going to find out. I mean, he's always been the guy.
Yeah.
I touched on it yesterday. He's always been the guy, but never, ever, ever has he needed to showcase what he's got left in the tank in the next month in his career. Never. Because he's always had it his way. And now all of a sudden, he's trying to sell this product, which, again, we talked yesterday, is effectively, come February, a 38-year-old.
Yes.
Who is going to be potentially a pain in the butt.
The thing with Ronaldo is, and sitting with this Portugal team, he is so important, has always been so important to them. And I just kind of feel, given the way this Portugal team is built, how they play, you can almost build around him. You know what he's going to do, what he's going to give it, you know what he's not, and you plug the spaces accordingly, which Ten Hag does not want to do with his Manchester United team, and hence the disconnect between the two. As far as your question as to whether this changes anything on the park, I don't think it does. I think players are looking
because
forward.
They know him. They know Ronaldo.
They know him.
They know.
They know. And again, if you build this team around him and you accept who he is as a player, that he wasn't the player that he once was, but you know who he is now, you take that. You know, as far as things changing, you know Ronaldo's still going to take every single free kick.
Yep.
You know when Portugal get a penalty, he's going to take. It doesn't matter how many he misses, he is going to take every single one. And that has been the case for quite some time, where you kind of accept that. You accept that he's going to put a free kick into the wall over the crossbar, and at least you keep him happy, because you prefer to have him happy for the other 89 minutes.
Jules, how much is this tournament really a shop window for Ronaldo? If he goes out there, somehow is top goal scorer, obviously United will be happy. They think they want to watch and they'll be able to get rid of him maybe easily. But surely, if I'm a club, how much importance am I putting on these 3, 4, 5 matches?
None, I think. I really don't believe that could move the needle at all for Cristiano. I think the clubs who could be interested, who might be interested, know exactly the situation. It's not if he scores 3 or 4 or 5 goals during this World Cup that would prove something or change something or change the perception that we have or the opinion that we have on him. I don't think that's got an impact. We know that he's fit physically, that he's not overweight. That side we know for sure. We know where he's lacking right now because we've seen it already with Manchester United. So it's not going to be different with Portugal. In the Portugal team, let's not forget back in September where the critics were coming from Portugal, from Portuguese media who have never criticised him before. But now his position, not that Fernando Santos will ever drop him, but there were question marks over should he play, should he start, what should be the team then if he's starting, because there's times where clearly it's not working for Portugal either when he starts.
Are you saying, Jules, as we look at the Portuguese squad, are you saying that in your opinion there are no elite level clubs out there around Europe that you reckon are going to touch this guy?
I think, Craig, if there was no one in the summer, and okay, maybe some clubs were put off by the transfer fee potentially and his wages. Although I'm pretty sure that if you're Chelsea or Bayern Munich or a really top club and you go and say to him, listen, you're 37, mate, you're going to be 38 in February, we'll take you, but not on those terms. I'm sure he would have done something. So I really believe that even outside of the money issue, just no one wanted him. And then maybe Sporting, maybe MLS, but in the top European clubs, whether it's a good World Cup or not, I really don't believe that no one will move in January for him.
And that's right, it's not in his terms now. And that's a similar scenario to Manchester United.
Yep.
It's not in his terms, it's Ten Hag's terms. And his terms and conditions are, Carabao Cup, Europa League.
But not even that now, is it? Surely.
No, it's nothing.
No. Surely after this, that's...
Well,
No,
I think
anymore.
I've seen some reports today, I don't know how accurate, that Ten Hag has already said to the United board, I don't want him around the club. And we touched on that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right thing to do. He's nailed his colours to the mast, and he's going to have to deal with it. Now it's up to his representatives to find a gateway for him to get out. And it has to be on a hugely reduced salary, maybe on an incentive-based contract. And then it's who's desperate out there. Who's desperate among any of the teams, whether it's going back to Portugal, which would be a drastic drop in salary, of course, or a struggling bigger club who go out with what the manager wants and just go and sign him for 6 months or whatever it is. I have no idea. And he's brought, I think his actions in the last few months, if it was bad enough trying to get a move in the summer, does he really think doing all this stuff was going to help him? That doesn't make sense.
That's one of the parts of all of this that fascinates me, Jules, because pretty much the whole consensus has been, well, why has he done? Unless it's someone who's got Cristiano Ronaldo as their picture in their Twitter profile and lots of numbers after the name and calling us all every name under the sun with our anti-Portuguese ways. the general consensus from everyone is, what on earth is he trying to get across? What's he trying to achieve by doing this interview?
Yeah, that's the big question that is still unanswered. Remember a few weeks ago, he put on his social media, I will tell the truth, everything that is written or said about me is wrong. I've got this notebook with all the fake news or the wrong facts, and I will tell the truth. I mean, if that's the truth, then he got it completely wrong. In terms of PR, it's a disaster. For his future, I think it's a disaster. And then when you see those footage that we showed at the start of the show of maybe Bruno Fernandes turning on him, maybe Joao Cancelo turning on him at training, players not making eye contact with him. I mean, Bruno Fernandes is a big player for Portugal. And he was
joking about a boat, Jules, come on. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.